Everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review, and today we're going to take a look at the third figure in DC Collectibles New 52 Red Hood and the Outlaw series with the Red Hood himself. This figure comes in the same kind of window box packaging as the other two figures in the series with the white and red borders. You've got the Red Hood and the Outlaws logo up at the top of the packaging. You've got the figure clearly displayed in the window box packaging, and then you've got the name of the character down below at the bottom. On the one side you have a darkened in image of the character, and then on the other side you have an image of the actual figure, and it tells us this figure was sculpted by Steve Kiwas. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Then finally on the back we've got a thumbnail image of the character up at the top with a little brief bio, and then a look at all three figures in this Red Hood series. Arsenal, which we took a look at earlier this week, and then Starfire, which was released a couple weeks ago and we reviewed. And then Red Hood, which we're looking at today and was also released this week. Okay, so let's get this figure open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside of the packaging, and for the most part I really like the sculpting work that they've done on this figure. I think the figure itself came out looking really good. It looks very true to the New 52 version that we see in the comic books. I really like the detailing on the mask. There's some line work sculpted in the mask to give it extra detail, and then you can see like the nose and the mouth inside the mask and everything. So I really like how the mask came out, and I think they captured the look very good. I also like the way his inner shirt is sculpted to look like, basically it's armor. I think that came out looking really good with this line sculpting there. He's got the red bat symbol, which you can see part of through the coat. Now the way the coat's designed, parts of the coat are sculpted on the figure, and then parts of it are a soft vinyl flexible type material down here towards the bottom to kind of give it that wind flowing look. However, you can't open it so much that basically it's glued up here near the bat symbol, so you can't like pull it back to see the full bat symbol. It would have been kind of cool if you could have opened it up a little bit more, but the way they have it, basically that's as much of the bat symbol as you can see. He's got a gun belt with working gun holsters on both sides, and those, you can't remove the gun belt, but the holsters are loosely attached and have some flexibility there on the sides. And then like in the middle, the actual belt part is actually sculpted on the figure. And then just some nice detailing on the pants. You can see the wrinkles in the pants and everything, and then kind of the armored boots and such. So again, overall I think the figure came out looking really nice sculpt wise, and the paint apps on the figure are crisp and clean as well. So for features and accessories, this figure has two guns that fit in the working gun holsters. Both guns look exactly the same, and they have pretty nice detailing. They're basically a gunmetal silver with the black handles, and there's some nice sculpting on it to give it that look of the pistols. Now they do look a little flat, like if you look at the guns head on, they come off to me as being a little bit too flat. But other than that, I think the guns look good. And again, they fit in the holsters. And the holsters have little straps. The straps don't actually snap onto the holster or anything, but you can put the little flaps over the guns. And then another feature this figure has is he has these blades on his wrists. And I gotta say, I don't really like this. I know it's something that you see in the comics with him, but I think they're too kind of awkward looking. They kind of stick out. The blades do move. You can move them back and forth, but still for the most part they stick out and look kind of funny. So I kind of wish they had not included the blades on this figure. Now you can turn the wrist turns. You can turn the wrist at the glove cuff and at the wrist itself, so you can kind of, and it also, the arm even rotates at the elbow as well, so you can kind of like move the arm in a way so you don't see the blades. basically you can have the blades behind the arms, so it kind of hides them. So if the figure is just standing on the shelf and you don't like the blades, you can kind of maneuver the arms so you don't really see them, which is good. Articulation on this figure is pretty much on par with what we've seen with the other figures in this Red Hood series. The head's on a ball joint so he can look left and right. He's got not a whole lot of up and down movement. He can look up a little bit, but not really look down too much. The arms are attached so you can get him straight out about that much, and he does have the rotation there. Then he can bend his elbow about that much. As I mentioned, he has a swivel at the elbow, and then he has a swivel at the glove cuff, and then he has a swivel at the wrist. So he has 3 swivel joints on his arm. He doesn't have any hinges on the wrists, unfortunately. There's no midsection articulation on this figure, unfortunately. Not even a rotation. It would have been nice if they at least allowed us to rotate the figure at the waist. The legs are on the ball joints, and you can get them to do the splits about that much. The gun holsters don't really prohibit that too much, because the way they're designed and the flexibility they have at the holsters. He can get his leg forward about that much, and then back. And then he does not have a thigh swivel. He has a single jointed knee, so he can bend his knee about that much. And then he does not have any kind of boot or boot cuff swivel at all, and he has the up and down hinge at the feet. And then this figure has 1 peg hole at the bottom of his foot. This figure stands just under 7 inches tall. And you can see here he's about the same height as the Greg Capullo Batman figure that DC Collectibles released. Maybe Batman is a hair taller, but for the most part they're about the same height. Okay, so that's my review. For the most part, I think this figure looks pretty good. If you're a fan of the Red Hood, the new 52 version of the Red Hood and the Outlaws, then I think you're definitely going to want to pick this one up. The articulation is not horrible. It's fair. And like I said, it's pretty much on par with the other figures in this series. I like the overall look of the figure. The only thing I don't really like is I don't like the blades on the side. I could have done without that feature, but I do like that you can maneuver the arms so that the blades are pointing backwards and aren't really visible when the figure is standing. So I'm glad that they gave enough articulation in the arms to do that. But other than that, I think this is a good figure. As I mentioned before, the figure is hitting shelves now. So feel free to leave a comment. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, I'll check you later.